one thing. It's so far away that you don't have to like move the camera. So don't worry about that. You'll just have to adjust it to start.
Alright, camera, second camera. This is good. Now I can cover it. I can kind of put it back. Let me ask Chris. I'll go over and ask Chris and text you. Okay.
Good afternoon and welcome to James Henry Field, home of Whitman Blues Lacrosse, for our senior day. Today we recognize 3 seniors from the class of 2026. The dedication and commitment that these student athletes have shown to our program, to Whitman College, and to our community here in the Walla Walla Valley has been remarkable. We are fortunate for their leadership, their dedication, and all they bring each and every other day. Let's hear it for the Whitman College lacrosse class of 2026. First up, from Edmonds, Washington, defender number 1, Tegan Huff. Tegan is accompanied by her mom, Missy, and her stepdad, John. Tegan, a 4-year starter for the Blues, has exemplified hard work and a willingness to go for the extra mile. Originally a defender turned midfielder, she moved back to defense her senior year, while still appearing in the draw circle. Honors include all Northwest Conference first team defense in 2023 and all conference second team midfield in both 2024 and 2025. Tegan is heavily involved in her sorority and Pan-Hellenic community, having served as both Alpha Phi chapter president and Pan-Hellenic president. She enjoys Taco Bell with her friends in her free time and will always find a way to include the SpongeBob reference. After graduation, she will return to her hometown of Edmonds, Washington, and work for a non-profit in the Seattle area before pursuing a master's in social work. And now Tegan's personal statement. In the championship game of her junior season, Tegan had a complete tear of her ACL. It was unclear whether or not she would be able to participate in her last season of college lacrosse. After surgery, she had one goal, playing in every game of her senior year. While she missed out on Whitman's fall scrimmages, she has now seen and fielded in every single game Whitman has had this spring in the regular season, exceeding even her expectations. Tegan is extremely grateful to play in her senior day game, something she has dreamed about since she first picked up a stick. She wants to thank her coaches, Chris Duncan and Adira and Jocelyn Allah, for always supporting her through, not just let her lacrosse and recovery journey, but also her academic and personal development endeavors. She also wants to thank her physical therapist for pushing her to be stronger than she has ever been before and showing her what is possible after a serious injury. This team has meant the absolute world to Tegan, and she wants to thank all of the members of her Blues lacrosse family, past, present, and future. Tegan thanks her mother, Missy, for showing up every single game, driving her to every practice, and being the loudest and best cheerleader on the sidelines. She thanks both Missy and her stepdad, John, for always supporting her decisions she makes and showing her that what she puts her mind, she can accomplish. Thank you, Tegan, for all you've done for our program. Let's hear it for Tegan Hutt. Next up, from Mercer Island, Washington. On defense, number 19, Jesse Levine. Jesse is accompanied by dad, Orrin Levine, and sister, Abby Levine. A defender for Blues lacrosse, Jessie has been a leader from the moment she joined the program. Her tenacity and work ethic have helped shape our defensive identity and set a standard for excellence on and off the field. Off the field, Jessie is an avid Taylor Swift fan, the team's cupping specialist, and the team's resident Shabbat host. After graduation, Jessie is moving back to Seattle and will be working at a summer math camp promoting gender equity in STEM. Jessie revisited lacrosse after an 8-year hiatus. She never thought of picking up her stick again until Ren Novak approached her and asked her if she'd consider joining the team. Jessie said, "No, those days are over." Flash forward a year later, she was begging Ren to set up a meeting with coach. Moral of the story, Ren knows best. She's forever grateful for this team. It has brought her unlimited joy, confidence, and overwhelming love and support. Jessie wants to thank her incredible coaches, Chris Duncan and Adira Allah. Their devotion to this team and the success and growth of each player make this team one of a kind. She's eternally thankful for the opportunity to be a Blue and will forever carry with her the memories and the friendships she's made. Thank you, Jessie, for all you've done for our program. Let's hear it for Jessie Levine. And our last senior is from Pendleton, Oregon, number 23, Lindsay Passina Little Sky. She is accompanied by her lifelong best friend, Muriel. An attacker for Blues Lacrosse, Sky leads with passion on and off the field. Her impact goes beyond the stat sheet, helping shape our program's traditions and purpose. Honors include Northwest Conference Honorable Mention Attack in 2025. Off the lacrosse field, Sky is Whitman's first ever Sinata Scholar, served as president of the Indigenous People Education and Culture Club from 2022 to 2025, and is also a goalkeeper on the Whitman women's soccer team. As a December graduate, I will return in the fall to write my thesis and play soccer. After, I aspire to attend Arizona State University Law School in a program intertwining Indian law and environmental sustainability. And now Sky's personal statement. As a young girl, I grew up playing traditional lacrosse with my community, woven together by family and friends. I've been lucky to find that same sense of family here, in a different form, with my teammates, their families, and the fans of Whitman Women's Lacrosse. I carry deep gratitude for my teammates and coaches, for welcoming my culture, my ideas, and for embracing the roots and values of the game I've always known. One of my favorite memories lives in the Native Girls Lacrosse Clinic we held last weekend with JD. Watching my teammates play with sticks I grew up with and seeing young Native girls step into the modern game with the help of teammates. It meant everything to me. Thank you, Coach Duncan, for never trying to fit me into a box, but for embracing my style of play, encouraging me to be fully, unapologetically myself. That's something I'll carry far beyond the field. Thank you, Adira, for always seeing our potential as a team and pushing us towards it. And of course, for the best food recommendations. To my teammates, thank you for the laughter, the blues buddy notes, the shared halftime snacks, and for opening your hearts to a girl who just wanted to play lacrosse, even if it meant learning the game in a whole new way as a freshman in college. Thank you to the CTUIR community for your constant support. And to my family, thank you for every mile driven, every hotel room booked, every fundraiser, and for standing by me through every high and low moment. Thank you, Sky, for all you've done for our program. Let's hear it for Sky Passina Little Sky. From the entire Blues community, thank you all. Let's have one more round of applause for all of our seniors. We want to announce the University of Puget Sound seniors.
We are getting ready to go here on the final day of the regular season for some Northwest Conference women's lacrosse action. Also senior day here in Walla Walla at Hayner Field. The Blues just honored their 3 seniors playing their final home game at Hayner Field on the campus of Whitman College. Tegan Huff, Jessie Levine, and Lindsay Passina Little Sky just honored. Final day of the regular season. It is senior day. Whitman taking on the Puget Sound Loggers to round out the regular season. Austin Samuels with you here along with the rest of our Flow Sports crew. It is a sunny, breezy day here in Walla Walla. Thanks for joining us on your Sunday afternoon. Whitman has won 6 in a row, looking to make it 7 to end the regular season. The Blues, if they win today, will finish no lower than second place in the conference standings. There is a scenario that they could potentially win the conference if George Fox were to fall today as well to Lewis and Clark. It would create a three-way tiebreaker, and depending on how things shake out with the goal differential on the final day of the regular season, they could potentially win the tiebreaker and host the conference tournament here in Walla Walla next weekend. There is an outside shot for that, though it is not very likely. Whitman at 10-6 overall, 6-1 in Northwest Conference play, taking on the Puget Sound Loggers, 4-11 overall, 0-7 in conference play this year. Puget Sound has lost 8 in a row coming into this contest. Whitman in their home white uniforms, led by fourth-year head coach Chris Duncan, and Puget Sound Loggers in their road green uniforms, led by Ashley Eddles, coming into this one. Biggest story for Puget Sound perhaps today, playing their final game of the season. They are already eliminated from postseason play. The biggest story today for the Loggers is Kat Schilly. She's playing her final game today. The senior midfielder from Charlotte, North Carolina. She is 2 goals away from tying the all-time career goal-scoring record at Puget Sound. She's 2 away from Julia Schulman, who played at UPS from 2010 to 2013. She needs 2 goals today to tie the record, 3 to break the record in her final collegiate game here this afternoon. So she will certainly be looking to put together a performance here today. Whitman and the Puget Sound Loggers about to square off on the final day of the regular season. Whitman has already clinched their spot in the Northwest Conference Tournament next weekend. Their seeding, that is to be decided depending on what happens today. Let's meet the starting lineups for both teams. First, for the Puget Sound Loggers, Rebecca Morales starts on defense. She is a sophomore for the Loggers. Rachel DeLance starts. She is a junior attack from Portland, Oregon. Willa Toomey gets the start. She is a first-year midfielder. Mulia Bruhan is a sophomore attack for the Loggers. Maggie Otts gets the start, a junior attack. Kylie Sullivan is a senior defender. She gets the start. Lucille Hamilton, a sophomore defender. Piper Lewis, a first-year midfielder for the Loggers. Kat Schilly, who we just mentioned, 2 away from the all-time scoring record at UPS, a senior midfielder from Charlotte, North Carolina. Leah Ignacio Walsh is a first-year defender, and Jenny Huang is a junior defender, rounding out the Loggers' starting lineup. Ebeth Klein starts between the posts. She is the goalkeeper. In her first year, has started every game during her first season. That's the starters for UPS. On the flip side, for Whitman, Tegan Huff gets the start. Today is her senior day. The 3-time all-conference selection playing her final game, likely here at Hainer Field. Joy Olsen-Uderitz gets the start, a sophomore defender, just took home Defensive Player of the Week in the Northwest Conference. Grace Galanes gets the start, a sophomore midfielder. Andy Garcia starts on defense for Whitman, a junior from Sammamish, Washington. Sarah Hawkins, who just broke the all-time assist record in Whitman history yesterday, also had 8 assists yesterday, which was a career high for her. Nell Harvey starts on defense. She is a sophomore from Moncton, Vermont. Lola McConaughey, this team's leading goal scorer, gets the start on attack. She's got 49 goals this year. Jessie Levine, also her senior day, starts on defense. Ellie Malesi, who had a nice game yesterday, a hat trick for Ellie Malesi, a sophomore attack from Seattle, Washington, gets the start. And Lindsay Pacina Little Sky, the 3rd senior who was honored pregame, the senior from Pendleton, Oregon, plays in a midfield. Seraphin Miller gets the start. She is a first year on the midfield, had a career game yesterday. 5 goals for Seraphin Miller, and Ren Novak starting between the posts. A junior goalkeeper rounds out the starting lineup here for Whitman. We'll pause for the playing of our national anthem. right, we are just about ready to go on the final day of the regular season. The Whitman Blues here on their senior day have won 6 games in a row, looking to make it 7 straight heading into the Northwest Conference Tournament, which starts next weekend. They have already punched their ticket in. They could finish as high as the number 1 seed, as low as the number 3 seed, depending on what happens here today. For Whitman to finish first, they would need a George Fox loss to Lewis and Clark, and they would need to make up at least 10 goals in the goal differential today. That would be the 3-way tiebreaker between George Fox, Lewis and Clark, and Whitman, all at the top of the conference. If Whitman wins today, they will be the 2 seed, no lower than the 2 seed. If they were to lose today, they could drop to the number 3 seed in the conference. The Blues at 10-6 overall, 6-1 in Northwest Conference play. Lost their conference opener to George Fox by a single goal on the road, and since then they have rattled off 6 consecutive wins. Puget Sound, the Loggers, in their road green uniforms, 4-11 overall, 0-7 in conference play. The Loggers have lost 8 games in a row. Whitman, all-time against UPS, is 14-3 in women's lacrosse, and they hold a 6-game winning streak on the Puget Sound Loggers. Here's we're ready to go for the opening draw. Seraphin Miller in there for Whitman, and she wins the draw. The Blues start out on the ball. Seraphin Miller had an unbelievable game yesterday. 10 draw controls, which was a career high, and 5 goals, yesterday in the winning effort, which was also a career high for her. Blues put up 21 goals in their win yesterday over Pacific Lutheran. Their offense has been on fire, averaging 18 goals per contest during this 6-game win streak. Inside, Pacina Little Sky, shot denied between the posts. Ebeth Klein with a nice save for the Loggers. Working the clear here. Instead, it's Emily Odegaard with a takeaway. Whitman on the attack once again. Loose ball just inside the fan. Still loose, picked up by Sarah Hawkins, who moved herself into the record books yesterday. She's now the all-time assist leader in Whitman women's lacrosse history, 101 career assists, and she is just in her sophomore season. Had 8 assists, which was a career high yesterday, along with 2 goals in a big win for Whitman over Pacific Lutheran. Inside, Pacina Little Sky looking for room, dump down shot, and she scores. Whitman on the board, 1:20 in. Lindsay Pacina Little Sky scoring on her senior day. It's 1-0 Blues. Lindsay Pacina Little Sky with her 23rd goal of her senior season, 113th of her career. One of the 3 seniors being honored today. Also has played for the Whitman women's soccer team. She will come back and play soccer as a goalkeeper next fall. Was an honorable mention all-conference selection last year. Again, 113 career goals for her. As Whitman wins the draw once again, it's another one of the seniors, Tegan Huff, who comes away with it. Whitman with an early lead. If the Blues win today, they will finish at least in 2nd place. Could potentially climb up to 1st, although they would need a George Fox loss, which is unlikely. The Bruins have won 90 straight conference games. Sarah Hawkins up top to Molly Labhart, who had a couple goals yesterday. Blues put 21 on the board against Pacific Lutheran. Seraphin Miller drives and scores in tight. It is 2-0 Whitman here early. Seraphin Miller with her 36th goal of the season. Had a career game yesterday with 5 goals in the win against Pacific Lutheran, and has really been on fire in the back half of her first year. Seraphin Miller has now scored goals in 7 straight games and has continued to terrorize opponents in the draw circle. That's where she heads back to right now. She'll face off against Piper Lewis for Puget Sound here for the draw. Whitman off to an early 2-0 start. They led it 8-0 yesterday at the end of the first quarter. Still loose off the draw. finally picked up by Sarah Hawkins on the ball for Whitman. And a career game for Sarah yesterday. 2 goals, 8 assists. She has really come on in the back half of her sophomore year. Inside, another chance, and it's Lola McConaughey who cashes in. Credit Lindsay Pacino Little Sky with a nice pass and assist there. Whitman leads 3-0. For Lola McConaughey, that is her 50th goal of the season. Top 5 in the conference in goal scoring this year. She has scored multiple goals in 7 straight games. That was her first of the day. Whitman with a 3-0 lead here just a couple minutes in. And the Blues have won 6 straight games, averaging an absurd 18 goals per contest during that win streak. In conference play, they have really figured things out, especially on the offensive end with that pass and cut offense. Who's on the attack once again in their home whites today. It was an up and down start to the season for Whitman. Played a very difficult non-conference this year. A couple of teams ranked in the top 7 in their respective regions. Ellie Malesi with it had 3 goals yesterday in Whitman's win over Pacific Lutheran. Seraphin Miller finds Molly Labhart, who couldn't handle the pass. In and out of the pocket. Whitman still on the ball. Lindsay Pacino Little Sky, one of the 3 seniors who was celebrated pregame. She, Tegan Huff, and Jessie Levine all got the start today in what will likely be their final game here at Hayner Field. McConaughey in tight, had it jarred free from behind. And it will end up being the Loggers' possession. Puget Sound still in search of that first conference win this year. They've already been eliminated from postseason play here on the final day of the regular season. Again, the biggest storyline for UPS is Kat Schilly, 2 goals away from tying the all-time goal-scoring record in UPS history. This is her first chance on the attack here. Toomey has it knocked away from her. Tegan Huff with aggressive defense, and she swipes it away. Huff on her senior day tore her ACL in the Northwest Conference title game last spring. Worked all the way back to be ready for the start of this season. A 3-time all-conference selection in her years at Whitman. Moved back to defense this year and has been a big part of Whitman's success and improvement on the defensive end as the year has gone along. The Blues have allowed less than 6 goals per game in conference play. It was up at 11 goals per game allowed in non-conference play. It's been improvement on the defensive end throughout the year. On the attack here, poor pass and a long run for Sarah Hawkins. She can't chase it down. It's out of bounds. A rare turnover for Whitman. The Blues first in the Northwest Conference in not coughing it up. Loggers give it right back. A little bit of an errant pass from Maggie Ott. Whitman on possession with an early 3-0 lead. Had 3 different goal scorers here in the first quarter. They were very balanced yesterday, had 7 different players score in the 20-goal win over Pacific Lutheran. Here's Sarah Hawkins. Already over 100 points for the 2nd straight season as a sophomore. Been such an intelligent passer. Fires inside. Malesi's bouncing shot goes wide. And Whitman stays on the ball. Lindsay Pacino Little Sky, who does have a goal already on her senior day game. Inside, make it 2 for Lindsay Pacino Little Sky. 2nd of the day, and Whitman in front, 4-0. 24th goal of the season for Lindsay Pacino Little Sky, and the 114th of her career. Lindsay Pacino Little Sky, multi-sport athlete, also plays for Whitman Soccer. She'll be back next fall to wrap up her degree and play for the Blues soccer team. Also very involved on campus with a number of different indigenous peoples groups here at Whitman. 4-0 advantage for the Blues as the Loggers take the draw here. Willa Toomey comes away with it. In their road green uniforms today. Puget Sound a tough loss on Friday. They took on Whitworth and fell 26-1. Looking for a better result here today. Lucille Hamilton. Passed her by Nell Harvey, lost control of it at the edge of the attacking third. Piper Lewis looking to go for work. And she has it knocked away. Joy Olsen-Uderitz with a swipe away. Just took home Northwest Conference Defensive Player of the Week. Did Joy Olsen-Uderitz. Walked onto the team before last year and ended up being an all-conference selection. As the Loggers force a turnover here. Here's Kat Schilly in the midfield. Again, she sits 2 goals away from the all-time scoring record in UPS women's lacrosse history. We'll see if she can threaten that record today in what will be her final career collegiate game. She is a senior. This will be Kat Schilly's final game. Whitman in the transition game. Sarah Hawkins moves it in on the far side. Blues looking for their 7th straight win here today, heading into the postseason. Whitman has never taken home the Northwest Conference title, and they have never made it to the NCAA tournament. This could be the year. Already played the defending champion, George Fox Bruins, multiple times this year. There's a nice stop by Ebeth Klein between the posts. A shot from Seraphin Miller. Whitman played George Fox twice this year, lost both times, but by a combined 4 goals in the 2 games. So some would argue it's the closest they've ever been. Here's Bassina Little Sky off the nice feed from Hawkins. Can't finish inside. Whitman stays on the ball. Midway through this first quarter, Molly Labhart out front, had multiple goals yesterday. Whitman has been very patient on the offensive attack with his pass and cut offense. Ellie Malesi, a shot knocked away by Ebeth Klein down low. She's made a couple of nice saves here early. Loggers trying to work the clear and turn some defense into offense. And Whitman forces a turnover. Blues back on the ball. And they fire a shot and score. Emily Odegaard with the goal, her first of the day. It is 5-0 Whitman.
Scored by number 11. Emily
Odegaard with a quick strike, her 29th goal of the season. Emily originally from Bellingham, Washington, spent her first year of college at the Savannah College of Art and Design, which does have a women's lacrosse team. Transferred back to Whitman before this year, and she has been a very welcome addition to this Blues team. Scored 10 goals in her last 3 games coming into this contest as Whitman wins the draw again. Lindsay Bassina Little Sky. Muscles inside. Can't get a shot off. Whitman stays on the attack. Those home white uniforms today. Looking to finish out the regular season on a high note. Sarah Hawkins had a career-high 8 assists yesterday. Looking for an outlet. Seraphin Miller whips a pass high and wide, looking inside. end up being off of Whitman, out of play. Puget Sound will take over possession. Final day of the regular season. Whitman has already punched their ticket into the Northwest Conference tournaments. However, there's still a lot to be decided here on the final day of the regular season. We'll get a check of scores at the end of the first quarter here. It's still up in the air, the seeding. Who could potentially win the conference and host the conference tournament? That's still up in the air. And who could be the final spot, the 4 seed, is still to be decided. Willamette, Linfield, and Whitworth all still alive for that final spot in the conference. As there's a foul called on Whitman in the attacking third. It's on Joy Olsen-Uderitz, and she will be sent off here with a 1-minute green card, releasable penalty. So Puget Sound with a good chance here, a woman up for the next 60 seconds. UPS on the season averaging just over 7 goals per game. Here's Piper Lewis. Looking to break things open for the Loggers. Kat Schilly inside. She goes down low. Shot goes just wide. Fred Novak between the posts. Again, Kat Schilly for Puget Sound, 2 goals away from the all-time career goal-scoring record in UPS history. Cover called on Whitman. It will stay with Puget Sound. About 20 seconds left on the penalty for Joy Olsen-Uderitz. Loggers still a woman up. Lewis going to work on Galanes. Lewis fires a pass inside intended for Kat Schilly. 3 seconds left on the penalty as we are now back to even strength. A save inside from Ren Novak. Nice play. Loggers stay on it though. Here's Piper Lewis. High shot goes wide. It will stay with UPS. The Loggers putting some pressure on. First time they've really showed off the attack here today. Maggie Ott fires a pass inside. It's away from her intended target, Mulia Bruhan. Ignacio Walsh on the ball for Puget Sound. And a foul called on Whitman. See who they get this one on. It's on Grace Galane. She will be sent off for the Blues, so another penalty coming up. Another green card on Whitman. A 1-minute releasable. So UPS a woman up for the next 60 seconds. Can they cash in? They are 7th in the Northwest Conference this year in woman up goals. They have just 14 of them on the season. Trying to cash in their chips here. Ott into the teeth of the defense. Resets. And a free position coming here for the Loggers. Maggie Ott will take it from the 8-meter. 17 goals for her this season. Here's Maggie Ott. Passes off Piper Lewis. Shot saved by Novak. Couple of nice saves for Ren Novak here in this first quarter. Whitman looking to turn defense into offense. They hit the transition game a couple of times yesterday. Ellie Malessi's shot denied by Ebeth Klein. Good play between the posts for UPS and their goalie. Whitman has a 6-game winning streak against this Loggers team. The last UPS win against Whitman came in March of 2022. The Blues won against this Loggers team last year out in Tacoma, 18-1. Cash Schilly on the ball. Lucille Hamilton has it knocked away from her. Aggressive defense from Nell Harvey. It will stay with UPS. A whistle but no penalty call. We are back to even strength. Blues have had possession of it for the past minute or so as Whitman works a turnover here. Blues with a 5-0 advantage. 4 different goal scorers thus far. Lindsay Pacino-Little Sky has 2 goals for the Blues. As it looks like Whitman just grabbed timeout with 34 seconds left in this first quarter. Whitman with a 5-0 lead here on the final day of the regular season. The Blues and the Puget Sound Loggers. Looking at the conference standings, George Fox, Lewis and Clark, and Whitman have already punched their ticket into the conference tournament. Heading into this final day of the regular season, George Fox undefeated at 7-0 in conference play. Whitman, if they win today, will finish no worse than second. There is a scenario where they could finish first and host the conference tournament next weekend, but it would require a loss from George Fox. They are playing Lewis and Clark, who is currently tied with Whitman for second place. Those two are playing right now, but to give you an idea, George Fox has won 90 conference games in a row. 90 in a row. Since 2016, they have not lost a conference game. The score of that contest right now, George Fox leads Lewis and Clark late in the first quarter, 6-1 is the final score there. So if Fox wins that game, they will host the conference tournament next weekend, starting on Saturday, May 2nd in Newburgh. If Fox were to lose that game and Whitman could come back and win the goal differential tiebreaker today, they would host. But again, off to a good start is George Fox. They lead 6-1 over Lewis and Clark. And then there's a battle for that 4 seed, which we'll get into that here at the end of the first quarter. 3 teams still alive for that final spot. Willamette, Linfield, and Whitworth could all qualify for the 4 seed here, depending on what happens on the final day of the regular season. Still 34 seconds left here at the end of the first quarter. Whitman with one final chance to extend this lead. Seraphin Miller tries the outside, finds Malesi on a cut, couldn't quite get enough on it to sneak it by Ebeth Klein. 12 seconds left, and the Loggers will look to run some clock to go into quarter number 2 with possession. Klein down to 2 seconds, and she manages to run out the clock to triple zeros. 5-0 Whitman at the end of 1 here at Hayner Field in Walla Walla. Back with the second quarter after this. Stick with us on Flow Sports. Alrighty, just about set for second quarter action at Hayner Field in Walla Walla. 5-0 Whitman with the advantage here on the final day of the regular season and senior day for the Blues. 5 goals for Whitman in that first quarter. Lindsay Pacino Little Sky had 2 of them on her senior day, Emily Odegaard, Lola McConaughey, and Seraphin Miller all had a goal for Whitman. Well, we were talking about the scenarios here on the final day of the regular season. We were talking about the first place scenarios where George Fox would have to lose to Lewis and Clark to potentially open the door for Whitman to host the conference tournaments next weekend. There's also a multitude of scenarios for the 4 seed, the final team that gets into the conference tournament. Willamette, Whitworth, and Linfield are all alive here on the final day of the regular season. Willamette playing Linfield right now. If Willamette were to win against Linfield, they would get the 4 seed no matter what else happens. If Linfield were to win that game against Willamette and Whitworth wins against Pacific Lutheran, it would create a 3-way tie, and it would come down to goal differential, which Whitworth is down 5 in the goal differential coming into today against Willamette. So the score updates right now. Willamette leads 5-3, so close game early against Linfield, and Whitworth has a 9-2 lead over Pacific Lutheran. Again, that is for the final spots in the conference tournament. The top 4 teams make it. Everybody else gets sent home. Here as we start the second quarter. Loggers maintain possession, so they will start with the ball. UPS in that first quarter put up 4 shots, 3 of them on goal. Obviously have not gotten on the scoreboard quite yet, as Whitman picks up an early penalty. Nell Harvey sent off for the Blues, so a 1-minute warming up advantage here for UPS. Loggers looking to get the offense going in the road green uniforms today. Maggie out behind the goal, and pass knocked away. Looking for a cutter that time, and Tegan Huff said not so fast. Intercepted by the senior. A 3-time all-conference selection, Tegan Huff moves it up ahead. Good stop and a clear for Whitman, playing a woman down for the next 20 seconds. On the attack, Seraphin Miller goes low with the shot, bounces it just left of the goal. And it stays with Whitman on the attack. 7 seconds left on the penalty kill for the Blues, as Nell Harvey is led out, and we're back to even strength. And Sarah Hawkins with a bouncing shot. She scores to get on the board for the first time today. Whitman builds out the advantage at 6-0. For Sarah Hawkins, that is her first of the day, 42nd of the season. Whitman with a 6-0 advantage.
Goal was scored by number 10, Sarah Hawkins.
For Hawkins, she had a career day yesterday. 2 goals, 8 assists for her. Already has an assist today as well. First in the Northwest Conference in assists this year. Such an intelligent passer. Sophomore from Bend, Oregon. There's a foul called in the midfield going against Puget Sound. Latumi sent off. So Whitman with a 6-0 advantage, a 2-minute
Yellow card.
woman up advantage, a yellow card
Slash.
on the Loggers. So Whitman on the woman up. They're 6th in the conference in woman up goals this year, 26 of them. They started the season really hot on the power play advantage, and they've slowed down since as the year has gone on. Inside, Emily Odegaard, creative wraparound shot. She finishes. 7-0, Whitman with the lead.
For the Blues, scored by number
Emily
11,
Odegaard, her
Emily
second of the day,
Odegaard.
30th of the season. Emily very good at those creative shots around the crease. Had one just like it yesterday where she actually wrapped it behind her back and managed to score late in the game against Pacific Lutheran. that one not quite as crafty, but still impressive to go low and wrap it around Ebeth Klein for a goal. Second of the day. Whitman with a 7-0 lead. And that was a releasable 2-minute yellow card, so we are back to even strength now. And immediately off the draw, Willa Toomey is sent back off with a foul, this time a green card. So Whitman once again will be on the woman up advantage. Tegan Huff will get it going.
Green card, Loggers number 4.
Willa Toomey takes back-to-back penalties for the Loggers. 7-0 Whitman. The Blues have been on fire offensively during this 6-game win streak, averaging 18 goals per game. Got off to a slow start to the season. Just 1-4 were the Blues early, and they lost 4 straight. Really turned it around in that trip down to Texas. And since then, they have been a different team. Went 4-5 in the non-conference. Lost the conference opener by 1 to George Fox. And since then, they have rattled off 6 consecutive conference wins. Today would be their 7th straight heading into the postseason. Lucille Hamilton works it in on the far side. UPS has shown some prowess on the attack here in this first half, just haven't converted it into any goals. Whitman with a takeaway. And Grace Galanes has it knocked away. It will be UPS ball just out of bounds on the far side. Piper Lewis lost control of it. Good defense there by Grace Galanes. And the Blues force a turnover. Tegan Huff scoops up the ground ball. 3-time All-Northwest Conference selection playing her final game at Hayner Field. Tegan Huff. They asked her to move to the midfield last year, and she answered with a 30-plus goal season. Back to defense this year, managed to recover from that ACL tear at the end of last season in the conference title game, and has been a huge impact player defensively for Whitman. Hawkins playing the point guard role. Whitman looking to build on their lead. Up 7-0. Hawkins, a little high from McConaughey on the cut. Whitman stays on it. Seraphin Miller, low shot, sneaks it through. Between the wickets of Ebeth Klein, it's a goal for Seraphin Miller, and Whitman leads 8-0.
Seraphin Miller.
Seraphin Miller, that is her 2nd goal of the day, 37th of the season. A career high 5 goals for her yesterday, and it has been a seamless transition from the high school game to the college game for Seraphin Miller. In her first year, already near the top in terms of point leaders for Whitman this year. First year from Linwood, Washington. Very talented player in her high school days at Archbishop Murphy, and has not missed a beat at Whitman. Blues settle in on the attack once more. They led it 5-0 at the end of the first quarter. Tacked on 3 more here early in quarter number 2. Whitman looking for their 7th straight win to round out the regular season here today on Senior Day. Seen Little's guy looking for a cutter. They move it behind. Whitman has gotten so patient with this off-ball movement offensively. Waiting for their opportunity. High pass from Malesi. Odegaard's got it. Tries to fire a shot in traffic. And UPS ruled to take away the ball. Loggers will start it out in the defensive zone. Rebecca Morales gets us going. She streaks it in the midfield, a hard fall for Rebecca Morales. Collided with Seraphin Miller for Whitman. And Rebecca Morales a little bit slow to get up. Looks like she's going to be okay. Took a hard fall there in the midfield. And Rebecca stays on for Puget Sound. I don't believe that they issued any sort of. Now a late card comes in, and it's Grace Galanes who is sent off. A 1-minute green card called on Grace Galanes, and not entirely sure what that was all about. Now, in fact, it's Emily Odegaard who sits in and serves the penalty. That was Seraphin Miller who was in there on the contact for Puget Sound. Loggers on the woman up advantage for the next 50 seconds, and they turn it over here. Lindsay Pacino Little Sky has a couple goals here today on her senior day. The three seniors honored pre-game: Tegan Huff, Lindsay Pacino Little Sky, and Jessie Levine, all playing their final game, most likely here at Hayner Field this afternoon. Hawkins finds Seraphin Miller as the Blues move it around. Burning off that penalty as we're now back to even strength. Emily Odegaard out of the box and a chance to strike for Whitman. And Lindsay Pacino Little Sky does just that. Making a hat trick for her in the first half, third of the day. Whitman leads 9-0.
Lindsay Pacino Little Sky.
25th of the season for Lindsay Pacino Little Sky. Her senior day today. Came back to lacrosse in her college days here at Whitman and has really picked up the game well. An all-conference honorable mention last year, and very well could be on one of those teams this year as well. I said earlier in the broadcast, Pacino Little Sky, a multi-sport athlete here at Whitman, also plays goalkeeper for the women's soccer team. Whitman with a 9-0 lead. And the Loggers on the ball here off the draw. UPS looking for some offense. Piper Lewis sees multiple Blues defenders as she's pushed out of the fan. And the big story for UPS, final game of the regular season. This team as a whole looking to finish the season on a positive note. But Kat Schilly in her final game as a Logger is 2 away from the all-time scoring record in Puget Sound career goal scoring. And a turnover here forced by Lola McConaughey. She picks it up. Here's Whitman in transition. Lindsay Pacino Little Sky with 3 goals in the first half on her senior day. McConaughey resets to slow it down. Whitman will be in the conference tournament next week. It starts on Saturday. Will likely be in Newburgh, Oregon, the home of the George Fox Bruins, who have won 6 straight and gone to the NCAA tournament in 6 consecutive years. They have won 90 consecutive conference games, which is absurd. Sarah Hawkins with a low bouncing shot goes off the post. And the Loggers managed to work the stop. And there is a scenario today where Whitman could potentially host the conference tournament as UPS turns it over. Olsen Uderit's on the ball for Whitman. George Fox were to lose today to Lewis and Clark, and Whitman makes up 9 goals in the goal differential. And they win as well. They could potentially host the conference tournament here next weekend. Seraphin Miller for the Blues already has goal today. 9-0 advantage here late in this first half. Sarah Hawkins looking for an angle. Hawkins finds McConaughey. And a good stop by Ebeth Klein. Had some nice saves in this first half. It's just been pelted with shots. 21 shots in the first half already. Pretty difficult in this game to stop 80% of them. Muriel Jones-Hoisington with it on the far side. Moves it up ahead to Lucina Little Sky. Head coach Chris Duncan barks out a play on the far sideline. Blues set up the attack. Their offense has improved as the year has gone along, averaging 18 goals per game during this 6-game win streak. McConaughey, Blues leading goal scorer, fires an underhand shot. It's good for a goal. Whitman balloons the lead 10-0. They're in front. Lola McConaughey with her second goal of the day, 51st of the season to lead the Blues. And that is now 8 consecutive multi-goal games for Lola McConaughey. She was a second-team all-conference selection last year as a first year. Very likely going to be a first-team all-conference selection this year. Back to the draw circle. Toomey in there for Puget Sound. Seraphin Miller for Whitman. And Willa Toomey comes away with it for the Loggers. Under 4 left in this first half. Going to strike quickly. Willa Toomey all the way around behind the net. Inside, catch. Shilly collects and scores for Puget Sound. And the Loggers on the scoreboard, 10-1 they trail.
Goal for the Loggers.
Mentioned it a couple of times that Kat Shilly is 2 away, now 1 away from the all-time scoring record in Puget Sound Loggers history. In her final collegiate game here today, she is 1 away from being the all-time leading scorer, or at least tying it. 2 to tie it, 3 to hold the record all to herself. That was her 169th goal of her career. The senior from Charlotte, North Carolina, playing her final collegiate game today, has the first goal of the game for UPS. And Tegan Huff takes away the draw control. Whitman has been improving on the draw as the season has gone along as well. And settles in the offense. Blues with a 10-1 lead. Alessi looking for a cutter, finds Odegaard a little bit high on the pass. Puget Sound will take over possession. Under 3 left in this first half. Puget Sound and Whitman, the Blues have won 6 in a row against this Loggers team, dating back to March of 2022. They beat them 18-1 last year in Tacoma. Here's Willatumi, getting the transition game going. Jenny Huang in the midfield, fires up ahead. Still loose as Ren Novak finally corrals it for Whitman. Under 2 left in this first half. Good pass from Ren Novak up ahead. And another ground ball scooped up by Willatumi. Cat Shilly 1 away for UPS, tying the all-time goal scoring record. Has the 1 goal for the Loggers. And she get another good opportunity here. Ott has it jarred free, but it will stay with Puget Sound. 1:20 left in the first half. Ott looking for an outlet. 1-on-1 with Burgess for Whitman. Playing some good defense. Here's Kat Shilly. And she has it knocked away by Joy Olsen-Uderitz. And Joy with some outstanding hustle comes away with it for the Blues. Joy Olsen-Uderitz just took home her 2nd Conference Defensive Player of the Week award last week. All-conference selection last year as the Blues do turn it over. 40 seconds left in the first half. Joy Olsen-Uderitz, just an unlimited motor defensively. Sophomore from Kirkland, Washington. Lucille Hamilton looking for breathing room for UPS. Down the near sideline, 15 seconds left first half as she is knocked off the ball. And a foul called on Whitman. Ellie Malesi will be sent off. A green card with 11 seconds left here at the end of the first half. The Loggers will be on the woman up advantage.
Green card blows number 20.
So 11 seconds left. UPS will have to move quickly here at the end of the half. Hamilton fires up ahead, immediately high pass intended for Piper Lewis. And Whitman there with the ground ball. And the Blues can run out the clock here at the end of the first half. A 10-1 lead going into the halftime break. Whitman here on their senior day, looking to win their 7th in a row to end out the regular season. Final day of the regular season here at Hayner Field in Walla Walla. It is 10-1 at the break. We will take a timeout for a couple minutes. When we come back, we'll break down this first half, give you all the stats here from Hayner Field, and also talk about the other games and scenarios going on around the Northwest Conference here on the final day of the regular season. 10-1 here at the break. Whitman in front. Stick with us on Flow Sports.
good though. You now tune into the biggest ever. YMCMB, Toshi Lee, Young Angel, Young Lion, man. Y'all boys get on the track with Onika Mirage and y'all still dying, man. What's up? We in this. This ain't gonna be the first time that I do numbers on 2 crutches. See more blacks than 2 brushes. Until I'm at the pearly white gates, I gotta move something, do something. All meetings happen in person, so they can't prove nothing. Known her 8 years and still like a new husband. Trying to run a country like Puget one day, but who's rushing? Who's bluffing? For real, who you hugging? Who you wanna be loving? I played 48 minutes on a torn meniscus. Who's subbing? El Chico Luxury. Wanna see my ball so bad, I started up a league. Can't trouble me from the double tree. Step your sweets up. I get Oliver and set the beats up. 2021, I had to bet the streets up. Your girl is better in the morning like a slice of pizza. That's when I had to hit her with the nice to meet you. You just think you're doing damage, you just hyping me up. Face who? I can see the ball of y'all, all of y'all and run straight through. Trust is all fun and games until I wanna play too. Adios Neo, the ice is free on the Jesus. It's bringing me closer to God. I'm already close to the mob. I'm already known as the GOAT. You try to get close, but you won't. I already packed the garage. None of this is a dodge. None of this the facade. None of this the mirage. Thought I was seeing things when I was seeing green. 6GOD. CMB.
just about set for second half action here at Hayner Field in Walla Walla. 10-1. Whitman with the advantage over the Puget Sound Loggers. Final game of the regular season. Senior day as well for the Blues. They honored Tegan Huff, Lindsay Pacino, Little Sky, and Jesse Levine all pregame before likely their final game at Hayner Field here in Walla Walla. The Blues, 10 goals in the first half, 21 shots, 16 of them on goal. They were +6 on the draw control as well in that first half. For Whitman, they had 5 different players score goals. Lindsay Pacino, Little Sky with a really nice first half here on her senior day. 3 goals and an assist. Emily Odegaard, 2 goals and an assist for Whitman. Lola McConaughey, 2 goals as well, her 8th consecutive multi-goal game. Seraphin Miller had 2 in the first half, and Sarah Hawkins a goal and 2 assists for her. For Puget Sound on the flip side, Kat Schilly, the 1 goal scorer for Puget Sound. Notable because she is now 1 goal away from tying the all-time career goal scoring record at Puget Sound. This is her final college game today as Whitman wins the opening draw of the third quarter. So Kat Schilly needs 1 more goal to tie the career scoring record here in her final collegiate game. Whitman looking for their 7th win in a row here as they start the second half, a woman down. Ellie Malesi still in the box for the next 20 seconds before we get back to even strength. There is this scenario where Whitman could potentially not only win today and claim the 2 seed in the Northwest Conference tournament, they could potentially take the number 1 seed, depending on what happens between George Fox and Lewis and Clark. Last I checked, it is tied at 8 between those 2 teams with less than a minute to go in the first half. If Lewis and Clark were to win that game, it would create a 3-way tiebreaker. Every team at 7-1. Whitman, George Fox, and Lewis and Clark, and it would come down to goal differential, which Whitman was -9 to George Fox coming into today. There is a chance. Tegan Huff into traffic, looking for a shot, goes just wide. Looking to find a goal on her senior day. Instead, it's McConaughey who converts in front. Lindsay Pacino, Little Sky with the assist. Whitman leads it by 10 once again. It is 11-1. Lola McConaughey with her 3rd goal of the day. Just continues to pile on goals. McConaughey's so good at catching that high pass and finishing at the goal. Crafty enough to get it by Ebeth Klein going top shelf. Lola McConaughey, 52nd goal of the season. Sophomore attack from Calgary, Alberta has put together a very impressive Whitman career. And Seraphin Miller takes the draw. She has been on fire on the draw control as of late. Miller had 10 of them yesterday, which was a career high. Blues on the attack once more. Whitman looking for their 7th straight win. Again, if they win today, they can finish no worse than 2nd in the conference standings due to the head-to-head tiebreaker against Lewis and Clark. Hawkins into traffic for Huff. Can't quite corral it. Still loose. Huff's got it, and she scores! On her senior day, celebrates with her teammates. Tegan Huff with a goal, her 4th of the season. And 52nd of her career on her likely final game at Hayner Field in Walla Walla. Tegan Huff makes it 12-1 Whitman. They were clearly trying to get her on the board with a good look here early in the third quarter, and Tegan Huff manages to convert. 4th goal of the season. 3-time All-Northwest Conference selection. And such a crucial part of this Blues team, one of the 3 captains on this year's team, the only senior captain for the Blues. They're on the ball once again. Sarah Hawkins on the far side had a goal and a couple of assists in the first half. Hawkins has been on fire with assists down the stretch here in the season. Had 8 of them yesterday. Pacino Little Sky dunks the shot down in. Lindsay Pacino Little Sky, the 4th goal of the day for her. Whitman leading it 13-1. Putting together a really solid game here on her senior day. 4 goals and an assist for Lindsay Pacino Little Sky. 26th of her senior season. Back to the draw. And Seraphin Miller scoops it up again. She has been dominant on the draw control in the back half of this year. Top 5 in the Northwest Conference in that area. Tried to sneak a wraparound shot in there. Turned away by Yvette Klein. Loggers looking to break out. The lone goal from Kat Schilly in that second quarter. It is a turnover. Burgess comes away with it. Muriel Jones-Hoisington up ahead for Pacino Little Sky. 4 goals today to lead Whitman on her senior day. Blues have been very patient on the offensive end. Very effective off-ball movement on the pass and cut attack. Hawkins looking for an outlet, finds Malessi inside. Can't get enough room for a shot. Whitman stays on the ball. Blues offense has been outstanding in conference play, near the top of the conference in goal scoring. 18 per game during this 6-game win streak. Towards the end of the shot clock here, less than 20 seconds left. Hawkins. 10 to shoot for Whitman. Hawkins looking for an outlet. Finds Malessi. Got to make a move, and she does! Ellie Malessi, just before the shot clock expires, tacks on a goal. It's 14-1 Whitman. For Ellie Malessi, that is her first of the day. And 27th of her sophomore season. Had a hat trick yesterday, 3rd hat trick of the year for Ellie Malessi. Metro All-Conference selection at Ballard High School a couple years ago. Was also very good in her first year last year for Whitman. Part of this really impressive young core of Whitman goal scorers. For the most part, a lot of their offense comes from underclassmen. First years and sophomores for this Blues attack, and that's one of them right there, Seraphin Miller, who wins the draw again. Midway through this 3rd quarter, Whitman with a big advantage on the attack once more, and a foul call on UPS. And this is a card coming up, a green card on the Loggers, and Willa Toomey. She's been sent off a couple of times.
Green card, Loggers.
So a 1-minute releasable penalty and a free position coming up for Seraphin Miller, who has a couple goals today already. card. Officials will discuss for a moment the alignment here of this free position, perhaps. Now we're ready to go. Here's Seraphin Miller to take it for Whitman. Low shot. And stopped for a moment by Ebeth Klein, but it rolls past her for a goal. 15-1. Whitman with the lead. Third of the day for Seraphin Miller. Had a career high 5 yesterday. Just continues to tack on goals at the end of her first year. Nearing the 40 goal mark. That's goal number 38 for her on the season. Score check of the George Fox game. They lead Lewis and Clark 9-8 by a goal going into the second half. George Fox were to lose that game, Whitman could potentially win the regular season title on a tiebreaker and host the conference tournament here in Walla Walla next weekend. George Fox has won 90 consecutive Northwest Conference games dating back to 2016, so that would be notable if they were to lose. 90 in a row. Who's on the attack again? Whitman again, if they win today, it'd be their 7th in a row as McConaughey cashes in once again. 16-1. Whitman with the advantage. Lola McConaughey tacks on another one, her 4th of the day. And 53rd of the season. Lola McConaughey, high catch and score inside. She continues to do that at such a high level. And for Lola McConaughey, that was a notable goal because it was career goal number 100 for Lola McConaughey in her second year. Goal number 100 in her career. 4th of the day right there as the Blues take the draw once again. Seraphin Miller comes up with it. Has just continued to dominate off the draw. Whitman does turn it over here on the near side. UPS with possession. Again, the Loggers' lone goal came from Kat Schilly in the second quarter. She stands 1 goal away from tying the career goal scoring record. And a hard push and a foul. Leah Dingman sent off for Whitman. With the aggressive defense, the first year from Boise, Idaho. She will exit. So a woman-up advantage coming up for UPS. 1 minute green card. The next 60 seconds, the Loggers will be a woman up. Willa Toomey works it in. Maggie Ott tries a shot and a sliding stop from Kinsey Kane, who's now between the posts for Whitman. Looking to break out here on the attack. Grace Galanes into traffic. Resets the attack. Whitman led it 10-1 at halftime. They have a 6-0 advantage here in the third quarter. Try and kill off these final 25 seconds of the penalty. With Leah Dingman still in the box. Galanes into traffic, has it jarred free. And a free position coming up for Grace Galanes. She will take it from the edge of the 8. Galanes looking for her first goal of the season. Goes down low and it's stopped by Ebeth Klein. Good opportunity there for Grace Galanes to pick up her first of her sophomore season. Has been in the starting lineup the past couple of games for Whitman. Ellie Malesi comes away with a loose ball for the Blues. And their home whites today. Galanes into traffic again. She's got the goal. bounces one by. It's her first of the season, and Whitman leads 17-1.
For the Blues, goal number 3, Grace Galanes.
Grace Galanes, sophomore from Kirkland, Washington, picking up her first goal of the season. Whitman with a 17-1 lead late in the third on their home field here on Senior Day. Blues looking to close out their 7th consecutive win. Lost the conference opener by 1 to George Fox in Newburgh. Since then, they have rattled off 6 in a row. Molly Labhart on the draw for Whitman. And great hustle from Sarah Hawkins to come away with the draw. Blues on the attack once again. Whitman has put up 30 shots in this game to 5 for UPS. It's just been one of those days. Whitman, regardless of where the conference tournament is held next weekend, this team will look to make a little bit of history. They have never won the conference tournament. Made it to their first ever title game last year. Lost 12-9 in that championship game to George Fox. Looking for their first ever NCAA tournament appearance in women's lacrosse. Will certainly have a good chance to do so. Malesi with a good chance here. And a nice stop from Klein. But Whitman stays on the ball. Under a minute left in this third quarter. Hawkins playing the point role, looking for a cutter inside. Finds Tegan Huff, who's already scored today on her senior day. Inside, Hawkins is fouled. Inside the 8. With just under 14 seconds left in the third, Sarah Hawkins will take a free position. From the 8, Hawkins goes up high and sneaks it by for goal number 2 for her today. 18-1. Whitman with the advantage. Sarah Hawkins continues to put up numbers late in her sophomore season. Second goal, she's got 4 assists today as well, as that brings us to the end of the third quarter. Here in Walla Walla, Whitman with an 18-1 lead here on the final day of the regular season. So a couple of situations here late on the final day of the regular season. There is a scenario where Whitman could potentially, on a 3-way tiebreaker, take the Northwest Conference regular season crown and host the conference tournament here next weekend. Here's what they would need to happen. They have to win today. That's step number 1. They also need Lewis and Clark to beat George Fox. Those two playing right now in Portland. They would need a Lewis and Clark win over Fox. And Whitman would need to make up 10 goals in the goal differential on George Fox to win the 3-way tiebreaker. The score update right now, George Fox leads it by 1, 9-8 over Lewis and Clark early in the third quarter. George Fox dominated the first quarter. Looked like they were going to run away with it again. But Lewis and Clark with a dominant seconds to pull within 1. 9-8 the score there. Then there's a situation for 4th place where there are 3 teams still alive. Willamette, Whitworth, and Linfield all alive for that final spot. If Willamette knocks off Linfield today, then the Bearcats will claim the 4 seed and they'll be the final team in the Northwest Conference tournaments. If they lose to Linfield and Whitworth wins today, that would create a 3-way tie for 4th place, which could potentially go to Whitworth on the goal differential. So The tiebreakers and the goal differential could loom large here on the final day of the regular season. Willamette leads 10-5 over Linfield late in the third quarter. So Linfield would have to make up a pretty big margin in the second half. Whitworth has a monster lead over Pacific Lutheran in Spokane right now, 22-4. Pirates came into today 5 behind in the goal differential, but they would still need a Linfield win over Willamette to potentially win that tiebreaker. That is looking like it's not going to happen. So that is the latest with the conference standings and scenarios as we begin the fourth quarter here at Hainer Field in Walla Walla. Austin Samuels with you here along with the rest of our Flow Sports crew. Thanks for joining us on your Sunday afternoon, the final quarter here of the regular season. And Willa Toomey with a physical draw control. As she is shoved down to the turf, that will almost certainly be a penalty going against Whitman. It is. Seraphin Miller will serve it for the Blues. It is a 1-minute green card releasable penalty on Seraphin Miller, the talented first year for Whitman, and the Blues immediately force a turnover. Lindsay Bassino-Littlesky, who's had a big game on her senior day, 4 goals and an assist, potentially cap off her collegiate career here at Hainer Field. Blues still a woman down for the next 40 seconds. See how aggressive they are in the attacking zone. A variety of different goal scorers today. 8 different players have scored for Whitman here on the final day of the regular season. Odegaard flips back out to Tegan Huff, who had a goal earlier in the first stages of the third quarter. And a foul called on Puget Sound here, so this will put us back to even strength. Piper Lewis sent off for the Loggers. And there is 8 seconds left on the Seraphin Miller penalty for Whitman. So even strength the next 8 seconds, and then Whitman will be a woman up.
Green card, Loggers, number 21.
Seraphin Miller let out of the box for the Blues. Whitman on the woman up advantage. They've scored a couple times. A woman up today already. Seraphin Miller is knocked down inside the arc, and she will have a free position coming up. Seraphin Miller already with a hat trick today, 3 goals. And she will have a good opportunity here. Approaching the 40-goal mark in her first season. Miller passes off. Tegan Huff with a shot and a score. On her senior day, 2nd goal of the day, and an unselfish play there from Seraphin Miller to make the extra pass to Tegan Huff. Whitman leads 19-1. Tegan Huff, 2nd of the day, 5th of the season for the senior from Edmonds, Washington. Tegan Huff, after college, is going to head back home to Edmonds and work for a local nonprofit, playing her perhaps final game here at Hainer Field on her senior day. 2 goals for Tegan Huff today. Loggers come away with the draw here. It's Willa Toomey. UPS on the attack. The lone goal came from Kat Schilly in the 2nd quarter. Schilly 1 away from the all-time record. She's got a look here. And it rolls in. Kat Schilly with the goal for UPS. Just barely sneaks it by Kinsey Kane. And that is a big goal for Puget Sound. Even though it's a wide margin, Kat Schilly with that goal ties the all-time scoring record in Puget Sound Loggers history. Needed 2 to tie Julia Schulman, who held the all-time record with 168 goals. Kat Schilly has tied the all-time record. In her final collegiate game here, she is a senior. So a cool moment for her. She has both goals today for UPS. She is tied for the all-time scoring record in Logger women's lacrosse history. If she gets one more, she would have the record all to herself. Blues win the draw here. Quick update from Lewis and Clark and George Fox. That game going on in Portland. Lewis and Clark has a 1-goal lead over George Fox, 11-10. And again, there is a scenario where if Whitman wins today by a certain amount of goals and Lewis and Clark beats George Fox, the Blues could actually win the regular season title and host the tournament here next weekend. George Fox has not lost a conference game since 2016. They've won 90 conference games in a row. That could potentially come to an end today as the Blues continue to pile on goals. It's Lola McConaughey with a goal. Lola McConaughey, who crossed 100 career goals earlier in this game, has her 5th goal of the day. Lola McConaughey just continues to make it look easy, scoring goals in front of the net. About 10 minutes to go in this one here in Walla Walla. Gorgeous Sunday afternoon, sunny and high 50s. Just a little bit of wind today. Perfect for some women's lacrosse action. So pleased that you've joined us on your Sunday afternoon. Senior day for the Blues, and so far so good if you're a Whitman fan today. Blues on the attack once again. Lindsay Pacino Little Sky moves it around for Whitman. Blues have had 8 different players score. 6 have had multi-goal games today. Been a very team effort for Whitman. Hawkins finds Firmino, who's in on the attack for Whitman. She had a goal yesterday, her first of the season, against Pacific Lutheran. Odegaard fires a shot and scores. Impressive shot from Emily Odegaard, who continues to impress with creative goals. Finishing there, it's 21-2 Whitman. Emily Odegaard, her 4th goal of the game. 19-goal advantage, Whitman with the lead. Odegaard now has 32 on the season. Has really come on in the back half of her sophomore year. Transferred in before the season started from the Savannah College of Art and Design. And has really been a key force of the Whitman offensive attack in the back half of this season. Still loose off the draw. And a cover called on Grace Galanes for Whitman. It'll be Puget Sound ball. Under 8 to go here at Hainer Field. Maggie Ott with it. Both goals today for the Loggers from Kat Schilly, who tied the all-time career scoring record in Puget Sound women's lacrosse history. Her 168th career goal. One more would give her the record all to herself. The final game of her college career. The senior from Charlotte, North Carolina. Piper Lewis being defended by Andy Garcia. Aggressive defense there. Inside into heavy traffic. Willa Toomey looking for some room. And Joy Olsen-Uderitz with some impressive defense. She scoops up the ground ball, and she can fly in the open field. Under 7 left. Firmino, who had her first goal of the season yesterday. Who's trying to get everybody involved here down the stretch. It's looking like Whitman is going to head into the conference tournament on a 7-game win streak. One of the hottest teams in the Northwest Conference, looking for their first ever conference championship and NCAA tournament appearance. Lindsay Pacino, Little Sky with a shot and a goal. 5th of the day for Lindsay Pacino. Little Sky putting together a memorable senior day. 22-2. Fifth of the day for Lindsay Pacino, Little Sky. The senior attacker has been so good throughout her entire Whitman career. And her 5 goals today ties a career high. Had a 5-goal game also against Puget Sound in her sophomore season. Blues win the draw. Just over 5 minutes left to check that score in Portland. Lewis and Clark with a 1-goal lead over George Fox. It is 11-10. They have the lead over undefeated George Fox, who has not lost in 90 conference games. The door is open for Whitman to potentially come away with the regular season title and host the conference tournament here next weekend. Hawkins looks for a cutter, finds McConaughey out front. Kalane's on it for Whitman. Just over 4 minutes left for the Blues. This team that started the year 1-4. They're on a 4-game losing streak, played some really tough competition, including Carthage, who's ranked 7th now in Region 7. College of Wooster, who's ranked 2nd in Region number 6. Another shot, another score. Grace Galanes with a goal. 2nd of the day for her and 2nd of the season as well for the sophomore from Kirkland, Washington. Whitman leads it 23-2. And the Blues played some really impressive competition early in the non-conference. Head coach Chris Duncan really wanted to challenge this team. So their record didn't look great. Finished 4-5 in the non-conference. Also lost to a really good Chapman team who plays in the SCIAC Conference, which is probably the #1 conference in Division III women's lacrosse on the West Coast. Whitman wins the draw. Seraphin Miller comes away with it. And a hard foul for UPS. Loggers picking up a green card. Maggie Ott sent off here with under 3 minutes left. The Blues finished the non-con 4-5 and lost the conference opener by just a goal to George Fox, who has won the last 6 conference titles going to the NCAA tournament each year. Lost by a goal, and since then, 6 straight wins. Today is going to be number 7 in a row for this Whitman team heading into the postseason. Firmino out front to Galanes, who has 2 goals today. Seraphin Miller inside, and a foul drawn. Whitman will get a free position coming up here. Ellie Malesi to take it for the Blues. She's got a goal today along with a couple of assists. And Malesi elects to pass off. Back to even strength as Maggie Ott led out of the box with under 2 to go here at Hayner Field. .20 seconds left on the shot clock for Whitman. Kalane's out front. 10 to shoot. Malesi. And Whitman will just burn some clock and turn it over here at the end of the shot clock. 1:15 to go, so a little bit of a sportsmanship move there from Chris Duncan and the Blues with this big lead. Down the stretch. This is the final game of the season for UPS, for the Loggers. And for Whitman, they are heading on to the postseason next weekend. Site to be determined, depending on what happens in that Lewis and Clark and George Fox game. Willa Toomey streaking up ahead, 40 seconds left. Can the Loggers get Kat Schilly one more good look? She's got both goals today to tie the all-time scoring record. One more would put her all alone. A free position coming up after the foul with 26.5 seconds left. This one will not come from a good angle for the Loggers. Willa Toomey to take it off. Finds Maggie Ott. And a foul call on Whitman. Allison Burgess sent off for the Blues.
Green card, the Blues, number 9.
1 minute green card here with 26 seconds left. Maggie Ott will take the free position on the near side for UPS. No, in fact, it'll be Willa Toomey. Inside to Maggie Ott. And taken away by Tegan Huff with 20 seconds left on her senior day. Has played great defensively, also has a couple goals. Whitman into the attacking zone one more time, and they can run the clock out. The Blues win it here at home by a final score of 23-2 on their senior day. The Blues have won 7 in a row heading into the postseason. They finished the regular season with a record of 11-6 overall and 7-1 in the Northwest Conference. Puget Sound falls to 4-12 and 0-8 in conference play to end their season. Whitman is in the postseason. Where they're playing and who they're playing, that is still to be determined. Running down the final shot scorers, goal scorers in this one as Whitman led it 10-1 at the half and then outscored UPS 13-1 in the second half to win it 23-2. For Whitman today, they had 8 different players score goals. Lola McConaughey had 5 goals to lead the way. Lindsay Pacino Little Sky with an excellent game on her senior day. 5 goals and an assist to tally 6 total points. Emily Odegaard, 3 goals and an assist for her today. Seraphin Miller, 3 goals and an assist. Tegan Huff on her senior day, scoring 2 goals for Whitman. Grace Galane is getting in on the action as well. 2 goals and an assist. Sarah Hawkins puts together another solid game on the final day of the regular season. 2 goals, 4 assists for her. She is now the all-time assist leader in women's lacrosse history at Whitman. Surpassed that yesterday. Ellie Malesi with a goal and 2 assists for Whitman. Those are the goal scorers again, 8 of them for the Whitman Blues. On the flip side, Kat Schilly scored both of the goals for UPS today. Exciting for her. She now has 39 to finish the year, and more importantly, she tied the all-time scoring record today, too. It was her final collegiate game. The senior midfield from Charlotte, North Carolina, got to 168 goals, which ties the all-time record at UPS. Julia Schulman did it. She was there from 2010 to 2013. So Kat Schilly got to make a little bit of history today for the Loggers, even though Puget Sound was not on the right end of this contest to end the season. So Whitman with a 7-1 record. The Blues certainly did their part here today. Now they sit and wait. There is an opportunity for Whitman to potentially host the conference tournament. So here's what they need to happen. They have done their parts in terms of winning outs and the goal differential aspect. George Fox and Lewis and Clark playing right now in Portland, and George Fox has a 13-12 lead. They are up by a goal against Lewis and Clark going into the fourth quarter. If I'm understanding all the tiebreakers correctly, if Lewis and Clark wins today against George Fox, it would create a three-way tiebreaker at the top of the conference, everybody at 7-1, which Whitman would win the tiebreaker because everybody would be even in the head-to-head, and the Blues would have the tiebreaker on the scoring differential over George Fox and Lewis and Clark, meaning they would host the conference tournament here next weekend, starting on Saturday, May 2nd, and the championship game on Sunday, May 3rd. If George Fox wins this game down the stretch, they would continue their streak against the Northwest Conference. They've won 90 conference games in a row, and they would host the conference tournament next weekend in Newberg, Oregon. We do know that George Fox, Lewis and Clark, and Whitman, all three are in. That we do know for a fact. The final spot is up for grabs. Willamette, Whitworth, and Linfield all had a chance for that fourth and final spot coming into today, and it is looking like Willamette is going to be the fourth seed. They have the advantage over Linfield with about 6 minutes left. They lead 13-7. If Willamette wins that game, they will get the fourth spot and be the fourth team in to the conference tournament next weekend. The four-team field, again, the semifinals on Saturday and the championship game on Sunday. The sites to be determined and the matchups to be determined as well, along with the game times. So follow along if you're a Whitman fan on whitmanblues.com to get all of the latest scoop, and certainly keep an eye on that George Fox and Lewis and Clark score as well. Again, Fox with a 1-goal lead starting the fourth quarter. George Fox up 13-12 on Lewis and Clark. Again, the final score here on Senior Day in Walla Walla, 23-2. Whitman gets it done. They finish the regular season on a 7-game winning streak, and they will be at least the second seed in the conference tournament next weekend. They could potentially win and host the conference tournament next weekend, depending on how it finishes out here today. Thank you so much for tuning in on your Sunday afternoon. Have a great rest of your weekend. A big shout out to all of our Flow Sports crew here this afternoon. Austin Samuels saying so long. And again, have a great rest of your weekend from Hayner Field here in Walla Walla.
Weird.